Turning now to the new developments on the Russian invasion of Ukraine as the American Red Cross boosts their efforts to help people escape the region. ABC's Karina Mitchell has the latest.
The Red Cross says it is trying again on Saturday to help people escape from the besieged Ukrainian city of Mariupol. The group says it wasn't able to reach the city on Friday. That as Russian-backed soldiers attacked the city with grenade launchers. Elsewhere, Ukrainian forces are making progress. They were able to recapture Irpin from the Russian military, but much of the city is destroyed. Those who stayed through the fighting say the ordeal was terrifying. This woman says, "It was very scary. I was very frightened. When the Russians came to check things out, I thought they would execute us." And some Russian troops have moved back from the capital. These areas show the closest the military got to Kyiv in mid-March compared to Friday. But Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has acknowledged that the situation in the South and Donbas regions remains difficult. Still, the White House says this war is not going the way Vladimir Putin planned.
His intention of winning a quick war, defeating the Ukrainians quickly, is not how it has played out. We have seen troops be demoralized. We have seen troops run out of equipment that they need on the Russian side.
Meantime, Russia is admitting to an attack by Ukraine for the first time, saying Ukraine carried out an airstrike on fuel depots inside Russia just 20 miles from the border. Ukraine isn't confirming or denying its involvement. Virtual peace talks between both sides continue. Ukraine's chief negotiator says negotiating positions change by the day depending on battlefield gains or losses, which makes the negotiating, quote, extremely difficult. Karina Mitchell, ABC News, New York.
Meanwhile, President Biden ordered the release of 1 million barrels of oil per day from the nation's strategic petroleum reserve in an attempt to reduce gas prices in the U.S. The price at the pump spiked across the nation after the Biden administration banned Russian fuel. The president says it is unknown how much the cost could decline because of this order, but he is hopeful that it will fall anywhere between 10 to 35 cents per gallon. And the war in Ukraine continues to alter life as civilians know it. People from East and South Ukraine fleeing their homes for the West and neighboring countries. But in the midst of crisis, human kindness continues to prevail. I spoke with the Bakersfield organization and their partners in Ukraine to find out what they're doing to meet the basic human needs of refugees.
What you think about more than anything else is saving your life when you're in the middle of such crisis and trying to escape war. And then when you're in a safer place, you think about everything you lost there.
Irina Pesaryanka has been through this before. Russia's invasion of eastern Ukraine in 2014, causing her to flee Mariupol, where she grew up, to Kyiv. She eventually relocated to Lviv. But the hardship did not take away her hope or compassion. She's been working on the ground, providing shelter and transportation the first 2 weeks of the war for those planning to go to neighboring countries like Poland and Romania. Irina and her translator Volodya Kocho and their spouses even slept in their hallways to accommodate refugees fleeing from the South and East Ukraine during that time.
Now when I work with people in the same situation, I try to explain to them that not everything is lost and you can still go on. Through administering to others, you can find your next phase in the next period of life.
Irina says that with 300,000 refugees fleeing to Lviv from South and Eastern Ukraine, there are many that have shelter, but need medical supplies, mental health support, and food. Irina is doing all this work as the current director for Future for Children Ukraine, in partnership with Bakersfield-based nonprofit Children to Love International.
We're a Christian organization, and we believe in the foundation that God loves the least of these.
That's Children to Love International's president, John Penrose. That organization helps 800 children, spanning the 5 countries they work in, with their local partnering organizations in Romania, Uganda, India, Thailand, and Ukraine.
A gentleman here who had been involved in our work in Romania, and he had retired from an oil company. He decided he wanted to move to Ukraine. He went there, saw huge needs, met Irina and some others, and the ministry and the work of Future for Children began.
Their Director of Development and Strategic Partnerships, Victor Popa, says they've even partnered with 3 churches in Lviv, providing shelter and basic needs, and are working to help refugees who have fled from Ukraine to Romania. 6 to 8 churches here in Bakersfield helping them regularly with their outreach.
Regularly, much of the work that we do with churches here in the U.S., we take teams on short-term trips to help with our work in all of the countries, and many of those people that live in this community here have personal relationship with Irina in Romania, Bogdan and the staff in both Romania and Ukraine, and the children. So I think for many of them, this is something personal.